What's going on, guys? Welcome back to RC Voodoo. Today I have the WLtoys 104001, this 10 scale buggy, and I've had this for probably a year now, or really close to it. And actually, I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. And I have the T-Power carbon fiber parts kit that I've just threw in the box with the RC and never put it on yet. So I thought I'd go ahead and get this put on. And I've seen others already assembled this, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I think compared to some of the thoughts that I've heard them say. So let's get this out of the box. Okay, here it is. So stock, it does have a metal, metal chassis plate, and this might be, depending on how you want to use this buggy, you might be better off with the metal. If you want to go hardcore bashing, then maybe stay with the metal one, which it is heavier. But if you want to take it to your track and make it lighter, then, or speed runs, anything like that, besides just straight out bashing. So let's start taking this thing apart, and I'll start putting this on, and I'll speed up the parts. I'm not going to do screw by screw, but let's just get it going. Okay, this screw right in the center here, that it's going into the transmission here. They've got some stupid Loctite on that thing. So I'm going to throw some heat on it and see if we can't loosen it up. Not yet. Goodness. Need some more heat. Ah. Turn this thing up a little. That done it. Yeah. Okay, here's the chassis taken off, and It does have a slight, you can see, it's got a slight bend upward. Now, I heard that you can get shims or put spacers in or whatever, but I'm not sure that's even necessary. That's just to bend the front up a little bit to, you know, just to help in case you run over an obstacle or something like that, you're not going straight in. It's actually got a little bit of a kind of like a skid. So we'll see what happens with that. But here's the old one. It's you can see here, quite flexible. This chassis kit is from T-Power. So you get the chassis, look like, you know, shock mounts, top braces. I'm not even sure what all the pieces are, but we'll get to them, I'm sure. Okay, here is the carbon fiber one, and let's. It's got maybe just a little more flex. I mean, you got a torque on it there, so. Let's start trying to get this thing put together. This does have a metal, I don't know what you'd even call it, like a spool gear. I guess you would call it transmission gear, I don't know, but it is metal in there. Here's a good look at the gearbox. And you can see these are bone dry, just like all of these. Inside the diff is usually pretty good, so I don't think I'm even going to take this one apart. I'm going to throw some grease in here, but every time I've taken the diffs apart, there has been grease in the diff. So you do not have to overdo these. You start packing these tight and full, and it's going to lead to putting strain on your motor. That's good. That's good. Everything's lubed good. And we'll do the front the same way because they're bone dry also. Never had the first drop of grease. Well, I guess the two long screws in the back didn't need to come out. The ones that's got the big holes right there, because they just go right down over the screw head. So those don't need to come out. And that's the two longest screws on the whole thing are the ones in the front or the back, and also for the front. And they just hold the diff housing onto the, whatever you want to call this, casing here. So yeah, you don't have to take the two long ones out. For when you put the transmission back on here, make sure that you Loctite on these screws. Don't use red, use blue. But the two up here that go into the steering mechanism, those are metal sleeves. So you want to use Loctite on these two, and these four, the two up here and the two back there for the motor mount. Okay, for the carbon fiber pieces, we got one that's a shock tower. So that'll go there. This will take off this brass looking piece. That will go there. And this will replace the body mount post right there. So this piece goes over top of the transmission, just replaces that part like that. Okay, this is the steering piece and body mount. Of course, the front shock tower, and this piece goes way down there, which I should have done before I hooked the transmission back in, the motor and transmission mount. I really needed to pay attention to what I was doing, and this one goes in down there under all that. I'd have to take this back apart to get that on there, so I'll do that later. I'm just going to put on what's left. This is really the only piece that I've went too far on. But for now, I'm going to do everything except this one, and I'll go back later and throw it in. Okay, guys, what I've done, the factory bend in the metal plate, you can see that slightly bends up there. And I got it all together just as flat. And I just wasn't happy with it. I was afraid because of the flex here, which if you watch right here, the dog bone there, when you flex, now that is flexing hard. All I got really. I mean, that's all I can do. So, but when it was just flat, it was easier to get out there. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna whip up a 3D print and just make me a wedge to replace this factory bend. And found online someone had already done it, so I didn't even have to do that. And luckily they had their files on Thingiverse, so I just grabbed them off there, printed the 2mm wedge, and you know, I did have to get a little bit longer screws up here in the front because of the wedge in there. And I flipped this piece upside down, the little front, basically just a protector for the hinge pin screws and stuff. So just flip that over. But yeah, it's got the got the angle it's supposed to have now. And I went ahead and changed the piece down in here too. I just took it since I was already back down in there. So we got the rear shock towers here. Of course, the deck, the transmission mount, the servo arm, you know, the steering stabilizer, whatever you want to call that piece. The front shock mount, the rear body mount here, and the front body mount. Well, it's the same piece, but yeah, it's the full carbon forgot to put a screw back in, the full carbon upgrade. And it is, I mean, much lighter. It's much lighter. Well, here's the pieces that come out of it. I mean, this is heavy duty, and not to can out, you know, also the metal. So significantly lighter. But like I said, if you're the type of person that wants to send this off of every ramp you can find, maybe stick with the metal parts, but it really lightens it up if you want to do speed runs, or maybe just take it to your local track where you're not going to be, you know, bashing it stupid, which the parts seem really durable. I mean, you could definitely handle some wrecks with this. Give it a drop test here. That's good. So there you go. That is the full carbon. I guess every piece you can change to carbon is now carbon fiber, and much lighter. I'm happy with it. Like I said, print off that wedge is on Thingiverse, and you have to get 4 longer screws. But other than that, it was very simple, very easy to go together. So that's going to do it. I will leave a link in the description for the chassis carbon fiber upgrades. And yep. Until next time, guys. Take care.